couple of other people coming, but if they do, they'll just wander on in. So thank you very much for coming out. I guess on one of our first days of summer, 20 above. It's pretty awesome outside. This summer in Europe is going to be a lot harder. So hopefully it's a destination that you're going to enjoy. Tonight we have Jodine Clement. She's the manager of Trafalgar for Alberta. Lives in Calgary and has come in tonight to talk to us about Europe and a couple of specific topics. And I'll pass it on to her. So I don't know if your presentation style is to interrupt or how you do things.
If you have any questions, just raise a hand and we can answer some questions at the end as well. If you'd like. Sometimes I think if you're anything like me and you think I'll ask later, you forget. Like I forget all the time. So while you've got it in your head, please feel free to just raise your hand and hopefully I'll be able to answer the question for you. Okay. So tonight I'm going to be going over Trafalgar and some of the experiences that we provide our guests, and so they're really special experiences. I've been reading a lot of articles lately, and a lot of the articles nowadays are saying when people travel, they want to have experiences. It's not just laying around and having downtime. They want to really immerse themselves in the culture and the taste and the soul of the destination that they're going to. So that's one thing that Trafalgar really has the expertise on, are the different types of experiences that you're going to have. So first off, I'm just going to give you a quick little history about who Trafalgar is if you've never heard of us before. How many of you have actually taken a Trafalgar trip before? Just one, two,
I think.
maybe you're not sure? Okay.
Way back when. Yes.
All right. Okay, that's all right. And how many of you have heard of Trafalgar at least? Okay, so there we go. How many of you have actually taken a coach tour before with our competitor possibly?
We have.
Okay. Okay. All right. Very good. I won't ask you who. I won't put you on the spot or anything like that. So we are part of the Travel Corporation. It is a family-run company by the Tolman families from South Africa. As you can see, we have many different brands underneath the Travel Corporation brand. So of course, Trafalgar and Cost Save are the two that I'm the sales manager for. Another one that you may have heard about is Contiki, which are the 18 to 35-year-old trips. Inside Vacation, which is also very similar to Trafalgar, and then our Luxury Gold, which is the luxury brand of the coach touring with the Travel Corp. Uniworld is our river cruise company, and then U by Uniworld is also part of the Uniworld river cruise. Brendan Vacations, they specialize in Ireland, so we do use them a lot. In Australia and South Pacific, we use the company called AAT Kings, so that is our company down there. And say in Africa, we would use Thompson's Travel. So those are kind of the main ones. Another big important brand would be our Red Carnation Hotel collection. So those are luxury branded hotels that are owned by the Tolman family. We do use a lot of those hotels in many of our trips, okay? So let's move on from this screen and let's get right into the heart of Trafalgar. So just for you that you're not familiar with Trafalgar, we now go to all 7 continents. Last season we introduced Antarctica, so now we hit all seven continents. We've been around for 73 years, so we know the business. We know how to travel to the different areas. We have great relationships with the different vendors in those areas. We have hundreds of different vacations, so of course I'm not going to go over every itinerary with you, otherwise we'll be here till tomorrow. We have thousands of different experiences on offer, and we have 5 million happy guests, and I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. So if you've never been on a coach trip before and you like to experience, or you want to maybe think, I'll drive through Europe myself, and you know, it shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to show you this video that might make you think otherwise, okay?
I've already rolled in Europe.
Hopefully my sound is okay. Yeah, all this one.
There it is. Can't seem to get over to the left. Right next to me. Sorry. Get out of this jam in a minute. Kids? Yeah. Big Ben, Carla, Jim. We know.
traveling around yourself, you could end up in that traffic circle all day long. So, if you've never taken a coach trip before, most of you have, but what might be a reason that, you might not want to do it again, or reason that you've never tried it before? Any reasons
It's
why?
very structured.
Okay,
So you have to be up early and on the bus.
Okay.
And not enough time to do shopping because you're going in all these other
That's
excursions.
you, Carol.
okay, no, valid comments, anything else? Okay, so, we have a variety of different trip styles available to you, and depending on the trip style you take, it can maybe eliminate some of the concerns that you have when you're going on a Trafalgar trip. So these are our trip styles that we have actually in our Europe and Britain brochure, because of course it's our largest brochure, so it has the most trip styles available. All of our other brochures that you see here have the same trip styles, but maybe not as many, just because there's smaller destinations. So our Country Explorer and our Regional Explorer, those are the ones that they're actually a little bit more laid back. You're not going to be unpacking and unpacking a lot. Most of the stays are at least 2 nights in a different destination. The Country Explorer, you're going to see one country. The Regional Explorer, you'll actually see 2 different countries. Okay. The Discoveries, now this is one that if you want to see as much as you possibly can in the amount of time that you're on, that is a discovery trip. So you are going to be go, 1 night here, 1 night there, 1 night there, but you're going to see absolutely everything that you can possibly imagine you're going to see in the short amount of time that you're there. And then we have our City Explorers. So these ones are great for those people that don't want to pack and unpack all the time. You're going to stay in one city, and then from that main center, you're going to just be going off and coming back, and going out and coming back. So you're really going to explore that city, but you're staying in the same hotel all the time. Then we have our cruiser rails, so sometimes people may not always want to be on the coach all the time. So we do have different modes of transportation with our cruiser rail. In our Europe brochure, we actually have an 8-day Swiss rail trip. So if you wanted to experience Switzerland that way, it's a wonderful way to see Europe and the countryside. Then we have our at leisure. So this is great for those people that don't want to wake up so early. So we have later starts in here. As I look at you over there, a little bit of a later start. I'm not going to say noon, but a little bit later. And then we also stay at least 2 nights in those destinations as well. Then we have our family experiences. These are great if you've got multi-generational people going with you. We have skip gen travel, which are grandparents bringing their grandchildren with them. Lots of great adventures for the kids as well as for the adults that are going with them. And then our special interests, we have 2 only in our Europe and Britain brochure. And a special interest trip would be something like our World War I and World War II battlefields trip. We also have highlights of the Outlanders, so like the Outlander series, we've got that as well. Another type of travel style we don't have on here is our mini stays. So those are just 2 to 4 nights. They do not include a travel director, so they're just more of an add-on for most people. They'd like to do that. You could add it onto a Uniworld cruise or to an additional package that you might have. So of course with Trafalgar, you will always get your coach. You have to get somehow, which means you have your coach driver. You have your travel director, which is your professional on the coach with you, so more like your tour guide. He or she works in conjunction with a local specialist as well. So a local specialist would be someone that's from that particular region, knows all the ins and outs about the area, because your travel director may not always be from that particular destination that you're going to. The coaches are all air conditioned, they have washrooms on board, we also have Wi-Fi, and then we have electrical outlets or USB ports, because everyone needs to always be connected nowadays, right? So that's kind of how the traveling will go on. Most of our Europe coaches, they will be about 40, 45 people on the coach. We do have smaller coaches, for instance, with our Africa brochure or our Asia brochure, if you don't want that larger group as well. So I mentioned earlier the experiences. So we have 4 main experiences with Trafalgar. One of those is called a hidden gem. So a hidden gem is where the travel director will take you to an area that only mainly locals know about. It's not something that a lot of tourists would go to. You won't find it in a guidebook. I would call a local a hidden gem here, and you're gonna laugh. A hidden gem for me when I come to Winnipeg is Mitzi's Chicken Fingers. Travelers. If you're not from here, if you don't know about Mitzi's, and if you were walking by, you'd go, I'm not going in there, right? So that to me is a hidden gem. Or Jeannie's Cakes. Jeannie's Cakes, you wouldn't know about Jeannie's Cakes unless you lived here as well, right? So that would be something like a hidden gem. But I'm gonna let you, let our travel director in Paris show you what he thinks are some of the hidden gems that he would show you if you were to go on one of his trips there.
Hello, my name's Jonathan. I'm the Trafalgar Travel Director. Paris is my hometown, and I can't wait to show you around this great city. One of my favourite bakeries in the whole of the city is called the Brochure du Moulin. It's really easy to find. It's right behind Place de l'Étoile, which has got a big statue of Louis XIV on horseback. When you go there, you must try the cheesecake and the macarons. They are magnificent. If you want to shop like a true Parisian, head to the Marais district, where you'll find wonderful little boutiques hidden away in courtyards off the main street. If after all of that shopping you need a bit of refreshment, head to the horseshoe-shaped bar called the Petit Fer à Cheval and order yourself a bière blanche. Fabulous though Paris is, sometimes you just want to get away from it all, and a real oasis in this city is the gardens of the Hotel Soubise. Secret garden, hidden away. Nobody knows about them, not even the locals. The things I just told you about barely even scratch the surface. If you want to live this incredible city like a local, you need to come and visit Paris with Trafalgar.
So there you go. That is kind of what a hidden gem would be like. So again, a really in-depth experience of the area that you're going to. This is one of our favorite experiences, which is called our Be My Guest experience. We started this type of experience 10 years ago, so we're the innovators of this idea. Other companies have kind of taken it and maybe changed the name and done the same thing, but we are the true innovators of the Be My Guest experience, which is defined here, to be welcomed into a person's home, to break bread, share stories, and support the local community. This is an exclusive Be My Guest experience. So when you read that, you may think, okay, we're gonna go to someone's house and have lunch with them, but it's much more than that. So I'm gonna show you a quick little video on some of the hosts of the Be My Guest experience that you may encounter. Some of them are our favorites, and they're very, very unique experiences.
Since Trafalgar has been coming here 10 years ago, they really changed our lives. They really help us to save this place, and also in sharing our history. This really makes me very happy and proud.
What we want to give to our Trafalgar guests, it's a taste, not just a taste of the food that we cook in our kitchen, it's a taste of what happened in this castle.
Blackmore is not open to the public. This is a special arrangement we have for Trafalgar guests. It is a really special time for those that visit.
They will see our everyday life. I think that is very important for them because it's very rare.
I find it so wonderful and rewarding that I get to be in my home, open it up to guests, and they love what I do.
Guests tell us half the fact that it's great, what they enjoy is the welcome and being made to be part of our family, as well as getting really under the skin of Scotland with the culture, the music. It gives a kick to the hosts as well as to the guests.
Partners of the Be My Guest, okay? So just a quick recap on Be My Guest so you just understand a little bit more. 53% of our itineraries actually have a Be My Guest experience included on them. We offer 103 different Be My Guest experiences across 6 continents. So for instance, in Canada, we actually have a Be My Guest experience. For people traveling in Western Canada, they'll make their way in through to Alberta, my place, and they'll actually stop in K Country, in Kananaskis Country, and they'll go on to a ranch there, and they'll see how the ranch runs. So it would be the same Be My Guest experience for any of the Western Canadian trips, because that's where they're gonna always end up. Same as in Hawaii, we have the same Be My Guest experience where they'll go to the O'o farms and they'll see how that farm works. So we do have 103, but they can be in a variety of different trips that we have available. 81% of these experiences are local homes and are family run. I think that's very, very important. As she said, we help to maintain her way of living or her lifestyle or the house that, you know, some of them, they said that if it weren't for Trafalgar, they wouldn't be in that house anymore. They would have lost their farm, they would have lost their business. So it's very important to us. They deliver what guests truly wanted from a vacation experience. Again, that's that whole experience where some of these places are fantastic. And it's not as though you'd be driving going, oh, let's go stop at that place and see if he'll make lunch for me, right? I mean, some people might, but you most likely won't. So again, it's one of those unique experiences that you'll always talk about later on. I've spoken to a few past Trafalgar guests, and they've said the one thing they will always remember is their Be My Guest experience. And then of course, this goes back into with my number 3 point is we give back to the people and the places of those regions to help sustain their way of life whilst educating and introducing them to the real destination. So that is what a Be My Guest experience is. Now I'm going to show you, I don't know if you noticed, little Beatrice. She was our lovely little lady in the video. She's one of our favorite Be My Guest hosts. Everyone that sees her wants to take her up and bring her home to wherever they are with her. So I'm going to introduce you to Beatrice, and she'll tell you what she does when you would venture onto her property here. She's very quiet, so hopefully you can hear her.
Bonjour, my name is Beatrice. I'm the owner of this estate, which is called La Giraudière, which is situated in Villandry in France. This is a farm from the 17th century. We work the land, we have 17 hectares. We have animals and the restaurant. When Trafalgar comes, I think what is very special is that they know they arrive into a real rural atmosphere of France. They will see our everyday life. I think that is very important for them because it's very rare. This is an experience that you can only see with Trafalgar. I think the experience we like is that we receive them as friends and we talk together and we explain what is important for them when they come here. I know that when they come, they are happy because they laugh a lot, they talk a lot, and they give me full of kisses. It's a very friendly atmosphere. I really feel happy because they arrive and they give life to those buildings which I love, and this is very important for me. This is my home, and I look forward to welcome you in l'État de Mort.
So that is Beatrice, isn't she lovely? So that would be one of the experiences that you would have with the Be My Guest experience. The next thing we have is our stays with stories. So these are more than just a hotel. These accommodation actually have some history behind them, some unique stories that the owners can tell you. For instance, this Lagan Gascoigne Hotel in the Scottish Highlands, or we have this one. This is actually the SS Rotterdam. So it's a ship. It was the original ship. The first ship that they created, and what they've done is they've docked the ship now, and they've redone the ship to be a hotel, dated like 1950 style. So it's a very unique way of staying in Holland, and that one's available on our Best of Holland trip. Or maybe this next one is the Schloss Leopoldskron. Does anyone know what that one might be? Sounds maybe Austrian. Maybe this will give you a hint. Does that look familiar to anybody?
Sound of Music.
Right on. So this one is the Schloss Leopoldskron. You'll actually spend 2 nights there, and it's part of our Sound of Music trip that we have where it highlights all the different things of Sound of Music. I don't know, my sister's like, we have to go on that one together. I'm like, yes, we do. So there's this one, and then our iconic Ashford Castle, where you'll stay for 24 hours. You'll spend the evening there, and that would be in our iconic Ireland and Ashford Castle stays.
I stayed in Ashford Castle
Did you?
years ago, and it is to this day one of the most amazing nights of my life. Like
Is it?
It's an incredible, incredible castle. So it
So-
didn't get to go.
Yeah, so we only,
It's a dream.
was it owned by Trafalgar at the
No,
time?
though this was 30
Okay.
years ago, so a long time ago.
Yeah,
I
well,
still remember it
the
fondly.
owner, when they went to see it, she went in and he goes, okay, it's for sale. So they walked around and she walked out, she goes, okay, let's go. He's like, what does that mean? She goes, buy it. It's like, she just fell in love with it, and anyone I've heard that has stayed there before, they just, same
It is
feelings.
spectacular.
Yeah. So here is Ashford Castle. This will bring you back.
The west coast of Ireland is magical. You'll find some of the most unspoiled, beautiful landscapes you'll see on this side of the country. And within those landscapes, you'll find Ashford Castle. Ashford Castle is unique because it's steeped in history. So it dates back to 1228, and I think you can feel that as you walk through the castle. It was founded by the Trafalgar family, and it has gone through several owners over the years. A very noticeable one would be the Guinness family. It was their summer home, and now the Tolman family, so they purchased the castle in 2015. When Trafalgar guests arrive at the castle, they arrive to a really warm welcome and bring you in, get you settled into your room, and then you're free then to explore the estate. And we have everything from Ireland's oldest school of falconry to archery, clay shooting, everything else in between. There's absolutely something for everybody here. So the castle itself is full of character, but also full of characters. A lot of staff members who've been here for 20, 30, 40 years, and they add to the experience so much.
I've been here doing this for 24 years. I used to have a man that worked with me, and he's been doing it 64 years. So I'm only a newbie with it.
Ashford Castle is a truly unique experience, nothing like it anywhere else in the world. You have to travel here with Trafalgar to find out why.
To bring you back?
Oh, yeah.
It's their 80th anniversary this year.
Was it their 80th? Oh, okay.
80th year of, well, obviously the castle's older,
Yeah.
but 80th year of being the top hotel in Ireland.
Oh, okay, yeah. And now
they're
it's
having
ours,
a
yeah.
huge
And now it's
celebration.
Trafalgar's.
And
Now it's
they're having a
Trafalgar's.
huge celebration this summer. And a
Oh.
whole bunch of special things. And,
You must get updates on from,
we were there a long time ago.
yeah.
But they spent $110 million renovating the castle about 5 years ago. And it is unbelievably spectacular.
Yep, so that's part of our Red Carnation Hotel now. I don't know if you noticed he had a little red carnation in his pocket there. So if you do the iconic Ireland and Ashford Castle stay trip, you'll be able to stay at Ashford Castle with us. Okay. And the last experience we have is what we call our dive into culture. So when I've done some consumer events before, I'll ask them what might be some of the things like I asked you. People go, well, I don't want to travel in a big group all the time. Well, I flip it around somewhat, and yeah, you're going to be on a coach with some other people, but when it comes to different experiences, such as the Vatican, for instance, if you were to go on your own to the Vatican, whether you're traveling in a group or not, you're in a big group. You're in a group of about 4,000 people all going through the Vatican. When you go on a coach experience with Trafalgar, you're going to have a personal VIP experience. So we have our Vatican experience, which is a VIP experience where you'll go into the Vatican before it opens or after it closes. So you have it privately to your own. You will be with some other travel corp groups. You could be with Insight, but you may have only 100 people compared to thousands of other people with you in the Vatican. Following your Vatican trip, you actually have a nice private meal in the gardens. So that is one of our dive into culture experiences. Another one we have would be La Belle Vie, which is in Paris. You go to the Fragonard Perfumery, where they have created actually a scent just for Trafalgar. It's called La Belle Vie, which of course in English translates to the good life, which is our tagline there. And you'll see how the perfume is made. Or if you want to go to Scotland, you can go to the Glengoyne Distillery and learn all about Scotch whiskey, or to the Guinness brewery, and you can learn all about Guinness as well. So we've got a variety of different dive into culture experiences that you have. This particular one I'm going to show you, it's actually a nice little cooking class, because we do have some cooking classes as well that you can do. Just point to the screen.
Bonjour, I'm Jean-Baptiste, and we are here in Paris, in my own city, at l'Atelier des Chefs. And basically I'm doing cooking classes, especially French cuisine. Today is chicken supreme stuffed with preserved lemon. And we're going to do some veggies, carrot and snap peas with fresh tarragon. Is it good? Doing a cooking class is really nice to understand French culture. You will start the recipe from the beginning to the end, and you will see it's really easy, but you will learn the French way to cook. You can use it as well in your own country to add a French touch. Perfect. The dishes, what we cook, are especially chicken, and the people are really surprised the way we cook chicken here and the technique we use to cook it. Simply, food and friends are like linked. You cannot be in France without tasting food, cooking food. It's part of our culture. We are cooking every day in France. It's like music. Trafalgar guests love to come at l'Atelier des Chefs. I love to teach my passion about cooking, and I'm waiting for you in Paris to share my experience. Voilà, voilà. Thank you.
So this particular cooking class would be available on our Paris Explorer. We also have some cooking classes in Italy. So you'll go actually out with a chef to the market. You'll pick your produce and your the food that you're going to cook. He'll teach you how to do pastas as well as sauces and everything. So again, and more unique experiences. So when you're looking at a guidebook, you may be thinking, okay, what does this all mean? You know, are we viewing, are we visiting? Does that mean we see it? So this is just some of the lingo. It's kind of small printing there, but some of the key things that I just want to mention to you, because when I'm going to go through some quick little itineraries, or when you're looking through the brochure later, you might be like, okay, well, does that mean we're going to see it? So view and visit, those are two very important ones. So a view means you're going to have a stop, a brief stop. You'll have sights, and you'll get off the coach and you'll be able to take some pictures of it. It may be a little bit more than just a picture, but it's going to be a quick stop. It's the visit where you actually get off the coach. You're going to have time to thoroughly enjoy the site that you're going to be stopping at. A sightseeing tour as well. A local specialist will accompany you on a trip of a city or site. And then seeing means that you're just seeing it as you go by. Okay, so that's what the seeing is. So those are the main things that you when you're looking through the brochure to keep in mind. All right. So I've just got our top 3 trips to Britain and Europe that we've for 2019. So I'm going to quickly tell you what some of those are if you're kind of thinking, where should I go? So our first one is the Best of Ireland and Scotland. It's a 15-day trip. It's a 2 countries, 16 cities. And what you're going to see is you're going to have 20 meals, 14 full breakfasts, 6 dinners, including a Be My Guest. You can see the areas that you're going to go to on the map there throughout Ireland and Scotland. Some of the sightseeing highlights would be, of course, you're going to get a city tour of Dublin, Londonderry, Belfast, and Edinburgh. You're going to get an orientation of Waterford, Galway, and Glasgow. And then I can read all this to you, but you can see it all. So it's a really unique experience, but it is our #1 trip for 2019 this year for us. So of course you're going to have the Connect with Locals. You're going to go onto a working farm. You're going to have the Be My Guest in the Hughes farmhouse. Dive into culture. You're going to go to a national stud farm. You're going to see how Waterford crystal is made. You'll also go to the Titanic, see the story of the Titanic at the Titanic Belfast monument. And then of course Glengoyne, you're going to go see the distillery there. And then you have your local specialists in those 4 regions.
So this one would be like a really, you're staying there 1 or 2 days, right? This would be a really like,
Yeah,
busy,
so about
busy.
2 nights probably in each of them, because it's a regional country explore, yeah.
Would you have much free time, like for shopping and that sort of thing?
A lot of the times you'll have the afternoons free. So when we don't include dinner, that's when you know you've got your free time, because there's no set dinner. So as you notice, let's see, we'll go back here. We had 14 full breakfasts, 6 dinners. So 6 dinners out of 14 nights. So you have quite a few free nights on your own to explore and to me taste the culture where you're going.
But would you have like specialty things that you could do on those days where you're not including the dinners? Or you could do like an excursion?
Yeah, so thank you for asking. We do offer optional experiences, and that's where your travel director can provide information on different optional experiences that you can purchase. So there'd be other sightseeing trips that you might want to do. For instance, like in France, you'll go to Moulin Rouge. That's one of the optional experiences that you can do. So there's a variety of different optional experiences to purchase.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I'm going to Portugal, Trafalgar in August.
Okay.
So my question is, how do I book those? Because everything was booked through my girlfriend who lives in Toronto.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of like tagging along.
Okay.
So, like, if I want to go to that, when I phoned, they said, no, you don't book it now, ahead of time. Like, which doesn't make sense
You
to me,
can't,
because I don't know how
we
to
don't
judge my
allow
money.
you to book them ahead of time, because some of the different experiences or trips need a certain amount of guests on them. So if we don't have enough guests on that particular trip, we can't offer that experience. So that's why we wait until people are actually on the trip, and then the travel director can offer it to you. And then if we have enough people for the trip to go, for that particular sightseeing trip to go, then it's going to go.
So do they take credit cards for that,
Yeah.
or do I have to have
Yeah,
cash?
no.
Like, I'm trying to figure out my
No,
money.
credit
and
card
then-
will be fine. Yeah, you can
'Cause that
pay
was a quick
right to
phone
the
call
travel
and-
director. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Do you have a
like-
list of the optional experiences? Did you see that?
Yes.
Because you'll be able to
Yeah,
get that.
because it's
Okay.
like there's 2 every day, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so no, those are all booked there, and that's the reason why.
Okay.
Because if you pre-booked it and then say we didn't have enough people, then, yeah. Okay. All right. So the next, the second most popular trip is our Best of Italy. They're all going to be the best ofs. I've noticed this. So this one is 13 days. You're only going to stay in Italy, of course. You're going to see 10 different cities. So right there, you know that it's going to be, you're going to be pretty much on the go. You can actually see here, like in the brochure, we actually show it. So where's my starting point here? I can't even see. So we start here. You're going to spend 2 nights in Rome right off to start. And then you're going to go down to the bottom to the Isle of Capri. You're going to spend 2 nights there. And then you end up in Assisi, which is, you're there for 1 night. You can see the numbers there. 2 nights in Venice. And then you're going to go over to the lakeside, and you're going to go to 2 nights in Lake Maggiore. And then you come down. You'll spend 2 nights in Florence. You get back to Rome, and you spend your final night in Rome. So you can see you are pretty much in places for 2 nights, with the exception of Assisi, where you're only in there for 1 night. Okay. So that's the nice thing about the brochure too. It will tell you exactly how many nights you're in each different city there. So this one you'll have 12 hot breakfasts, 7 dinners, including the Be My Guest with the local wine. So 19 meals in total. And then of course you've got your Connect with Locals, so your Be My Guest, where you'll be with Signor Telly for his dinner at his house. You're going to have your Stay with Stories. You're going to be staying at a Franciscan convent. Then you dive into culture. You'll see the Vatican museums there. You're going to actually go to the Bramante stairwell, which is closed to the public, so it's part of Trafalgar's trip. So does anyone know what the Bramante staircase is? It was built in like 1505. It's the original. If you see pictures, it's a big spiral staircase, but there's not really stairs on it. It's a big ramp. They've built another one, a newer version of it, and that has stairs on it. That one's open to the public, but this one that you're going to see, it's not open to the public. So, and then of course you're going to go to Giudecca Island to see some glass blowing, and then you've got your local specialists. So again, there's just some of the sightseeing highlights. You're going to see Pompeii as well on this particular trip, which is a fascinating place to see. You're going to get a cruise to the Isle of Capri. You're going to go to St. Mark's Basilica, the Colosseum. So this is a fantastic itinerary. Yes, it's your 2 nights, but you're gonna see some of the key components of going to Italy. And then our third most popular is our Best of Portugal. Is this the one you're going on? There we go. See, you're on our third most popular trip. 11 days, 1 countries, 11 cities. So, just so you know, you're gonna start 2 nights in Lisbon, down to the Algarve region for 2 nights, Évora for 1 night, up to Viseu for 1 night, Porto for 2, Fatima for 1, and then back around. So 10 nights, 15 meals, 1 lunch, which is our Be My Guest, 4 dinners with local wine, and then all your transportation. You're gonna go to Lisbon, Évora, and Porto. You're gonna see the Hieronymite Monastery. This is a cool trip. Like I've looked at this one before, and some of the things you're going to see are really quite neat. So yeah, so that's your trip right there in a nutshell. You can see that, and then you're going to have your Connect with Locals. So that's great. You're going to have lunch with Tiago and Vera. In Portugal, you're going to have your dive into country where you're going to do winemaking, which is very fun. And then your local specialist as well. So those are our 3 most popular trips. Like I said, I can't go through all of them as much as I'd like to, but that would be for our Britain and Europe. And then just so you know, these are all the other areas that we do go to. I know the brochures are here, but we've got our Hawaii, great way to do some island hopping. We've got Africa, our new brochure is just out for Africa this year. We started it last year. We've got our Travel with Faith, which is, we always have this, but because of next year we've got Oberammergau, it's a special departure. We've got our South Pacific, South and Central America, and we also have USA. So a lot of people don't think of us for the States, but we do have USA. Then we have our Cost Saver. So our Cost Saver brand is a little bit different. Any questions, sorry, before I move into Cost Saver quickly? Yes?
Are the hotels located in the central area,
Yes.
or are they
I'm
out
glad
of
you're
town?
asking me these questions, because these are things that I just forget to mention sometimes. So all of the hotels with Trafalgar are 4 to 5 star, and they're centrally located hotels. So they're always gonna be mainly in the most popular areas where there might be the most
So you can
tourist
walk.
areas. Yeah, absolutely. That brings me to Cost Saver. So our Cost Saver, our hotels there are a little bit different. The Cost Saver brand is, it's a different brand for us where we're trying to think of it more as a travel style. So how we like to refer to Cost Saver is guided independent travel. So it's great for those people that want to have the coach and they have the experience of a travel director, but you want to do your own for a lot of the trip. Like for maybe 60% of the trip, you want to be on your own and doing your own experiences and traveling around by yourselves. And really immersing yourself personally into that area. So the hotels with Cost Saver are 3 to 4 star. They're more what we call scenically located. And when I've looked at a lot of the different hotel areas and I've Google mapped them, they're more in like suburb areas. So for instance, here you might have your Trafalgar Hotel downtown near the Forks, and then a Cost Saver hotel could be near the airport. So that's just the difference. So they're still not going to be in the middle of the country where you have to hitchhike a ride into town. They are still going to be in town, but they might be more
So
of a
you'd be
local
busing
area.
or something?
Yes, yeah, unless you're on the coach for the tours and stuff, yeah. Okay, so Cost Saver, I'm going to show you a quick little video on Cost Saver, and kind of get a glimpse of that. It's very similar to a Trafalgar. So like I said, essentials provided by us, tailored by you. So you get to make it what you'd like it to be. So of course we still have our coaches again, same idea. All your sightseeing is for the main attractions are included. So for instance, if you're in Ireland, you're gonna go see the Blarney Castle, that's part of your sightseeing. When you're in Venice, you're gonna go see the island of Murano. When you're in Lucerne in Switzerland, you're gonna go see the Sleeping Lion. Has anyone seen the Sleeping Lion here? Isn't it amazing? Like it truly is like when you first see it, you're like, Like it's for anyone who hasn't seen it before, it's 6 meters tall, so it's massive. And does anyone know the history behind the sleeping lion?
I don't remember.
Okay, so this is the lion who represents Switzerland, and if you can take a look around it, you can see it's in the shape of a pig. Do you see that? So this is the ear, here's the snout, and this would kind of be the tail. And if you notice, the lion has a dagger in his back, so he was stabbed in the back by the pig, which represents the French. So that's the whole history behind that. So that is Lucerne. So of course, this is one of the things that you have to see when you go to Lucerne. So it's included with the cost saver trip, as it would be with Trafalgar. Anyone know where this is? Mont Saint Michel in France. Very difficult to get to if you were traveling on your own, but being part of cost saver, it's part of the sightseeing there as well. Anyone know this one? This is a very popular destination now. A lot of people are going to this area. Croatia, right on. This is Plitvice National Park, UNESCO World Heritage Site here. So this picture does nothing for what it is. So again, it will be included in your sightseeing. So again, essentials provided by us, tailored by you. It gives you plenty of free time. Most of your excursions will be done by mid-afternoon, which gives you the afternoons and the evenings to either go to a local pub, you can go shopping. Did someone say shopping here? You can rent a bike in Holland, you can go for a hike, or you can just sit and relax and enjoy the scenery. Again, we do offer optional experiences just like we do with Trafalgar. So this is the island of Burano. We have a great lunch here where you can, anyone know the history behind island of Burano? Why everything's so brightly colored there? So it's a fishing village that quite often will be fogged in. So therefore, they painted it very bright. Someone said it's kind of like Newfoundland. I said, is that from stumbling back from the bar, or is it from the fishing? So there's, and here in Morocco, we go to Fez, and there's a great little Moroccan meal you can have with some belly dancing. And then if you're in Switzerland, you could do this. I personally would not do it. No, I'd be cowering in the corner here, like crying. But if you're an adventuresome soul, you can go out on this cable car and check out the upper deck there and take in the sights there. So that's kind of cost saver. We go to Britain and Europe. We've got our Canada, USA, and Latin America, and we also have an Asia brochure. So very quickly, we have our London to Rome, Dover, Paris, Lucerne, Venice, Florence, and Rome, Jewels of Italy, where you're going to go to Rome, Pisa, Florence, Verona, and Venice. We've got our highlights of India, Delhi, Jaipur, Ranthambore, and Agra. And then in the USA, we have our Canyon Country, which is Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah. You're going to go all the national parks in those areas. So that's kind of cost saver very quickly. I didn't want to take up too much time on cost saver, but it is another way of traveling if that's the type of traveling style you'd like to do. Right now we do have some promotions. Currently, we have our Australia, New Zealand on sale. It's up to 20% off. The majority of the trips are 10, but we do have 3 or 4 itineraries that are 20% off. We have a special group departure, which is our Taste of Argentina and Uruguay. It's 2 departure dates next year in 2020. It's great if you want to experience some fantastic food, so great for foodies. We also have, I'm going to go kind of in order, all of our summer departures right now are definite departures, so once you book with Great Canadian Travel, you know that your trip is going to go. You don't have to think, oh, are there going to be enough people on the coach that the trip is going to go? It's a definite departure for the summer. We also have our autumn, winter, spring brochure that just launched, so we'll take you to like the Christmas markets and things like that. We're saving 5% off for limited time until the end of this month. Same as our Africa that we just released that brochure, 5% off. And then we have some special trips where we have worldwide discounts up to 15% off of select itineraries. For cost saver right now, we've got our Go deals. We're offering $550 off on flights worldwide, up to $550 depending on which itinerary you take. So one of the things that we're very proud about is one of the foundations that we are a part of, and it's called our Frederick Foundation. This lady that you see here, her name is Céline Cousteau. You may recognize the name. She is Jacques Cousteau's granddaughter. And we really want to make travel matter, and we worry about the footprint that we leave on this earth. And that's becoming very, very important now, especially in the last, I'd say, 5 years more so than anything. You see articles every day about different things that people are doing to this world, and it's creating havoc and, you know, on those poor whales that are being the beach whales that you're finding with the plastic bottles and things. So this is a foundation that we are a part of, and it is spreading across our company through the Travel Corp, through all those organizations that you saw. But let's just take a little closer look on what Tread Right is all about. Oops, or not. Okay, here. Oh! Start again, there we go.
Travel today, sustain tomorrow. We travel to make a difference. To people, to places, to our planet. Thanks to Join Trafalgar. We get hands-on through experiences that give back for our guests and teams at an individual level. It's helping our people help others, and we give a total of 2,400 paid hours a year so that our people can individually make a difference, building, planting, beach cleaning and more. And we support through in-house initiatives to ensure our tribe can be supported through their endeavours and causes that are close to their hearts. We support artisans, farmers, families, and invest in heritage sites. We help sustain livelihoods through connecting travellers to many of our 103 exclusive Be My Guest experiences across the world. Guests taste locally sourced food, meet our hosts, and learn all about their lives and heritage. We support locals across 71 countries and help keep generations-old traditions alive. We spread tourism to local townships and communities so our travellers can support local businesses as they travel. We partner with Me to We volunteer trips in India and Kenya, where we've helped build 3 schools, 2 water wells, and we're just getting started. And on 63% of our itineraries, we visit at least one World Heritage Site. We have reforested 100 acres of devastated lands across California and Tanzania with our partner One Tree Planted. Thanks to every guest who travels paper-free, we plant a tree in their honour. We travel by coach, and thanks to having the newest and greenest fleet, they produce 85% less CO2 per passenger kilometre than car and air travel, and 40% less than rail. We have 13 initiatives worldwide, focusing on conserving the environment and provide funding for long-term maintenance of iconic natural landmarks. All of our offices are single-use plastic-free, and all of our guest gifts are recyclable or sustainable. Our teams do community cleanups each year from lakes in Switzerland, beaches in Australia, and forests in North America. And we're only at the beginning of our journey. Sustainability is what we do. Our people, places, and planet is why we do it. Choose to travel and make a difference. Join us. Join Trafalgar.
Yeah, so one of the things that we did on Earth Day in Calgary is Kentucky, the Kentucky rep, he organized a river cleanup. So we were down there for an hour, and in an hour we collected more than 50 bags of garbage. Like it was just amazing, and just being part of this company, I'm relatively new to Trafalgar, and even I notice myself now, it's like, oh, I can't use the plastic bottles, I'm filling up my water bottle everywhere I go, so it really is so important nowadays. So I just want to thank you very much. Right now we do have a show special with Great Canadian Travel, so we're offering, if you book by June 7th, you'll save $50 off per person on all new bookings with them. So. But yeah, so that's kind of it. So hopefully I kind of enlightened you on Trafalgar and the Trafalgar experience, and maybe you can compare it to the other people that you traveled with before and maybe give us a shot and see how we compare. We really truly do give you an experience when you travel with Trafalgar.
You have that rule? You have a man named Isabel?
Yes, let's all go to Ashford Castle. No? All right. Well, there's all the different brochures along here as well. So please take the time to look at them. They have all the different trip styles in them, all the different, and you'll see all the different Connect with Local experiences that would be included on there. Okay.
Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation and enlightenment into Trafalgar and Cost Saver. So that's very interesting. Where does the name Trafalgar come from?
Trafalgar Square.
So that's
That's
where it
where it
originated
kind
from?
of started. Yeah, yeah. It was one of their first trips that they did was to Britain, and they went to Trafalgar Square and
Liked it so much they named the whole company
Yeah, I
after it.
guess so. Yeah, it was one of the
Good.
brands. Yeah.
Thank you very much. If you want to talk to Judy
That's okay.
privately, please go ahead. If you want to talk to myself, Margot, Andrea, Tiana, we're available for a little while. There's dainties, I think.
Some macarons out there too.
Yes, there's that. So don't feel like you have to run. And the show specials as